Hi YouTube, it's your girl Sheila J, and I'm back with another video. And if you are new here, welcome. If you are not new here, welcome back. But you always come back because I am everyone's favorite everything and your favorite YouTuber. I do hope that you guys can hear me. I might have to adjust the volume in this video, but I do hope that you guys can actually hear me. In today's video, I'm doing another reflection reaction video for class on Taming Your Gremlin, and I just really wanted to point out that upon reading this book, I have realized that my gremlin, aka my ego, whatever you would like to really say that it is, I kind of closely compare it to the ego, which everybody in the manifesting community likes to say or talk about the ego. I like the spin on saying the name Gremlin, and I feel like my gremlin or my ego is like a little 5-year-old child that doesn't like to be told no, and she throws tantrums and just doesn't know how to act. She carries around a wand, she wears a pink tutu dress and ballet slippers. That's how I personally see my gremlin or my ego or whatever. But she just doesn't know how to act, and she does not like being told no and throws tantrums. That's how I see my inner self, my inner gremlin. But I do want to note that I definitely, there's a lot of comparisons to this book. A lot of the stuff that's in this book I found very useful, and I kind of felt like some of it is similar to what Neville Goddard teaches, like self-concept and revisiting and rewriting your story, and which we know it as, everybody in the Neville Goddard community knows it as revision. So I kind of really liked how there were some instances that I can relate to and understand, but they put it in a different way and perspective, and helping us to better understand ourselves. And what my biggest takeaway from this book that I feel like has been really helpful is that your gremlin or your ego is not something that you should be ashamed of, and you shouldn't be ashamed of your negative thoughts and your negative feelings. You should become friends with your negative thoughts and your feelings. You should never try to hide them or try to do something to not feel that way, because I feel like when you try to not feel that way, you're only creating the inevitable to happen, which is a mental breakdown. When you try to be so positive that you end up creating it ends up being bad at the end for you. So I think that this book is a really great way of explaining, and helpful, very, very helpful. They have a lot of meditations and things that caught me off guard that I wasn't expecting to end up doing. And I think in this past week alone, I've been putting into practice this mantra called "I'm taming your gremlin," and I've been saying that anytime I've been feeling away. I've been saying, "I'm taming my gremlin. I'm taming my gremlin. I am taming my gremlin," and it's been helping me to kind of level out my emotions and really help me to be level-headed and think clearly, because I've had gone through some really intense emotions in these past week. Again, I will have to do a story time video, but that's for a whole other day and a whole other topic. But I just really found this book like really, really helpful, and I really hope that my subscribers and on here really take the time out to really look up these books that I am reading. And I really hope that these books help you just as much as they're helping me, because the more I become the best version of me, the more I can help you guys become the best version of yourselves. So that's my takeaway on it. Like, I really do think that we need to stop shutting out our emotions and our negative emotions, and start really embracing our negative emotions and treat them as your friend. Like, seriously, like, I feel like if we keep trying, like, society nowadays, it makes it just so hard for us to, like, accept what are negative things because we're told one thing and it really is not that way at all. And I think in this manifesting community, it sometimes gets very toxic because they're like, oh, affirm positive affirmations and affirm this and affirm the opposite of what you want and ignore. And it's like some people that does not work. You can't ignore your circumstances. Like, it just doesn't work for some people all the time. So while that might work for others to be delusional and be in their head and to ignore what their circumstances are, that does not work for everybody else. And what works for one person may not work for you. So it's like you gotta find a balance. And I think, like I said, the manifesting community on YouTube definitely tends to get a little toxic because they don't want you, like, they make it seem like you can't acknowledge your negative feelings and your negative emotions. And I'm here to tell you that that's the complete opposite. Like, it's healthy to embrace every part of you. Like, embrace it. And instead of saying I am mad at you, say a part of me is mad at you. Instead of saying I am jealous of this, say a part of me is jealous. Like, switching up the narrative and switching up the words that you say will help you to become friends with your gremlin or your ego instead of letting it take control you and take control of you. And it'll help you to take more control over your gremlin or your ego or whatever, so that you can become a better person and change the narrative and change the story. I think when we can become friends with them, then we become friends with our self and our higher self more than not being friends with them. Like, we learn how to really control ourselves better from that point and seeing it from a positive. That way your gremlin, your ego starts to cheer for you and starts to encourage you and starts to push you in the right direction and helps you to create better habits and better circumstances. Whereas if you don't know how to control it and you're not trying to become friends with it, you don't really know what you're really getting. And I think if we can change that perspective and we can manifest or create our realities from a healthier standpoint, then manifesting becomes a whole lot easier than what some of the YouTube coaches say. And this is not just from my personal experience. This is from me reading books. This is from me studying in school. This is from me going through the motions and me, like, really wanting to help people and change the narrative and change everybody's perspective, because I think a lot of times, like, we really do get suckered into someone else's belief system of how they see the world, and we can't always do that. We need to find our own way of doing things. And I think that's really, reading these books that I'm reading for class is really helpful because it gives me another perspective than what I'm used to hearing on YouTube. And it's the same information, just worded differently, but it's like scientifical stuff, and it's really helpful. And I think that if we can just change our approach, I think it'll get a lot easier. Because if I'm feeling like this, I'm sure somebody else feels like this too. But again, we just need to find more healthier ways to manifest and change the narrative in a more healthier way. And I find there's a lot of people on YouTube that I'm seeing that are stuck and they feel like they can't manifest what they want, and they're feeling conflicted and all these things because there's so much information out there. And I just want to tell you, you're not alone. And I want to tell you that I feel the same way. And if I'm feeling like this, you're feeling like it too, then something has to change. So there needs to be more people that are real on YouTube and are not just posting videos just to post videos. There needs to be more of a discussion to help make the manifesting and community a little bit more healthier, from a psychological perspective, but also a spiritual perspective. So I feel like they both go hand in hand with each other. And I do feel like there needs to be a shift of healthier discussions so that it becomes less toxic. And and it's how I feel. That's how I personally feel. But that's all I wanted to share, my viewpoints. And I really do think that I'm really going to take what this book is saying and really apply it, continue to apply it, and work through some of the meditations and some of the things, guided meditations that it said a couple of times throughout the day, just to help keep me centered. I already started creating, like, one of the things that it did say, just reimagine, like, change my experience. And like, this is almost similar to like revision, I feel like. So it's like, let's review some of the options you have to play. You either win by themselves or in various combinations. Change for change, assent the obvious, and just imagine it. And then you can like just revisit and redecide your world. And so like, I kind of feel like doing that is like similar to revision and just changing your story. And it does, like, I feel like the whole narrative of changing your story, it says, like, for example, if you originally wrote, "I'm fairly intelligent," you might now write, "I'm smart as a whip, quick-witted to boot, and I get a real kick out of how quickly I learned. I'm getting sharper with every breath. It's a blast to be fast." And I kind of take that as a way of, like, everybody's like affirmation rampages, and it's kind of similar to an affirmation rampage. Like, you get creative with your affirmations, and that's for a whole other video that I wanted to talk about. Getting creative with your affirmations. I have a slew of creative affirmations that you can go with, but in conclusion, it's just a perspective, and it's just what works for you. And I think that once you find what works for you, you'll be good to go, and you'll be amazing. So that is my video for today. I do appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and all that good stuff.